so many...
The people trapped in an approaching storm don't have to wait for decades and centuries. They receive the benefits of space technology immediately. Weather satellites provide an example of down-to-earth applications of space technology, providing data on storms, temperatures, winds. The final result, the forecast, shows up on the evening news because the data is widely available to people around the world. People who use it to prepare long-range forecasts of greater detail, greater accuracy. Other satellites provide other answers. Answers only dimly perceived by scientists a few years ago. Men who knew only that they had to know.
The great enemy of the human race is ignorance. It's what we don't know that limits our progress. And everything that we learn, everything that we come to know, no matter how esoteric it seems, no matter how ivory towerish, will fit into the general picture, a block in its proper place, that in the end will make it possible for mankind to increase and grow, become more cosmic if you wish, become more than a species on Earth, but become a species in the universe with capacities and abilities we can't imagine now. Nor do I mean greater and greater consumption of energy or more and more massive cities. It's so difficult to predict because the most important advances are exactly in the directions that we now can't conceive. But everything we now do, every advance in knowledge we now make contributes to that. And just because I can't see it, and I'm an expert at this, and just because I can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. And if we refuse to take those steps because we don't see what the future holds, all we're making certain of is that the future won't exist and that we will stagnate forever. And this is a dreadful thought. And I am very tired when people ask me what's the good of it, because the proper answer is, you may never know, but your grandchildren will.
Crystals from the moon provide focus for the dilemma. They yield immediate, instant information, yet they hold out the tantalizing suggestion of greater knowledge for the future. In man's pursuit of knowledge, he asks how, not why. And as the velocity of invention increases, his questions tumble upon one another. The same year the Wright brothers flew their plane, Albert Einstein asked why. The pursuit, the questions, lead us to our nearest star, the sun. The basic source of all life, all energy on Earth. Without it, there would be no light, no warmth, no food, no life. The poet watches the sunrise and writes a sonnet. But the scientist looks at those huge outpourings of energy and begins to ask questions and sends spacecraft far into space to do the asking for him. In the process, he receives data which can help provide a better understanding of the sun and its relationship to the life processes on Earth. By looking up there, we begin to understand our life down here.
If we look for a broader approach to what we have been calling the space program, then what we must do is to call it a planetary program. In other words, one of the important functions of exploring space is to understand our own planet and ourselves better. I mean, that's the name of the game. We've got to understand ourselves and the place we live on. And aside from just pure knowledge for its own sake, we want to increase the benefits for ourselves, not just material benefits, and also for our posterity. Well, then, if we talk about a planetary program, that is, tackling the entire complex of problems which involves Earth as a whole and not just one small section of it, the greater problem is how to conduct and improve human society, how to improve and increase the balance, the ecosystem balance of which human society is a part. In other words, we want to take a large look on Earth and deal precisely with those problems that concern everyone and are not specialized, and of which all other problems are special subdivisions, so to speak. Well, if we do that, it will turn out that some of them can't be tackled properly, except from the viewpoint of space or with knowledge that can only be gained through space exploration. But then space exploration...
The search extends to the oceans. How does man live in an isolated, hostile environment for long periods of time? The answer from space technology will help man to live beneath the sea, to study its vast reserves of food, of energy. Energy. The oceans and the sun may provide new sources of vital energy. Work is underway in both areas of research and in others. Work which may lead to new techniques, new methods for powering the machines and equipment an urban society demands and needs to keep it functioning, and for the demands of future generations. The machines and the demands made upon them present other problems: pollution, congestion, energy consumption. As the problems develop, new ways are being found to deal with them. Research in communications and aeronautics is leading to more effective navigation, air traffic control, noise abatement, and pollution reduction. The space agency's predecessor was concerned only with aeronautics, and that work continues today, assuming more importance than ever. And not only on the big commercial jets, but also on general aviation, the system embracing the small private plane, growing in numbers, demanding solutions. Research extends to the edges, where Earth and space meet. But now the distinctions are blurred. We begin to see it as an entity. Space Shuttle contributes to the blurring, rising like a rocket, flying like a spacecraft, landing like an airplane. And Skylab, viewing Earth and space as one unified, complex system for study.
The most dramatic way of examining Earth as a whole is from space, because that is direct. One needs those pictures from space. That dramatizes what otherwise we could only deduce, and makes apparent to all, even those who don't think about it, that after all, there is that cloud-shrouded body, and that's all we've got so far, and we must save it.
The search extends beyond ourselves, to other planets in our solar system, to Mars. The Mariner spacecraft, traveling for 6 months in the void of space, using the sun for energy, the star Canopus for guidance. The information it sent back gave us new insights into this planet which has fascinated man for centuries. It also gave us our first close look, pictures of startling clarity, pictures derived from the same technology with which we now look at ourselves. And as valuable as they are, they don't provide all the answers. Soon, another spacecraft, Viking, will land on Mars and begin a new search, perhaps ending the speculation of years, and perhaps beginning new speculation.
Mars is a living world, we now know, thanks to our probes. It's geologically active, it has volcanoes, it has ravines. It may conceivably have life. I don't mean Martian princesses on 8-legged horses, but I mean as very simple forms of life in the soil, the equivalent of our bacteria or viruses. Even this would be of infinite importance to biologists. Even the simplest form of life would represent, for the first time, a kind of life different from that on Earth. All the life on Earth, however various it seems, whether it's a human being or a codfish or a giant sequoia or a virus, we're all variations on a theme, one theme. If there is any life on Mars, however simple, it will be a second theme. And observing what's taking place on Mars, be able to deduce much more accurately what took place on Earth, with perhaps a greater understanding of the details of life on Earth.
And another, Pioneer, reaching out to other planets once thought to be inaccessible, now within reach. It flies to Jupiter, takes pictures, then soars off through and beyond the solar system, beyond our comprehension of space and time.
Upon Pioneer 10 is a plaque which carries drawings of man and woman, of the spaceship itself, and various other symbols which an extremely intelligent finder can interpret to give him some knowledge of what we are like, where we are, what we have done, and so on. It seems to me that when it is found, the chances are great we'll no longer exist. And it would be nice, sort of soothing, I think, to think that somewhere in space someday, people will know, beings will know that we have existed, and that in our short lifetime we've managed to accomplish some things. We've managed to send an object beyond our solar system, so that from that they can judge what we were. I rather think that it's a proud thing to do.
The homecoming parade, along with the countdown and the launch, visible symbols of a program, an inquiry, a quest after knowledge and understanding. We give ourselves a hometown party, and the symbols are embedded in our consciousness. But the results of the journey can only be hinted at, and they'll only be known by those who hear only the echoes of the celebration.